It's Miss O'Donnell. So we are now going to be starting our new standard. We're done with circle theorems. You guys took your assessment on that. We're good to go. We're going to move away from angles and talk about some different parts of circles. So we've got our new standard here. So let's take a look. Our new standard, we're going to be talking about arc length. We're going to be talking about area of circles. We're going to be talking about radians, all kinds of crazy stuff. We're going to start with arc length. So let's think about how we usually measure arcs. So when we've been talking about angles, how could we find the measure of arc AB? So hopefully you remember that's a central angle. Central angles are equal to the arc. We usually measure arcs in degrees. So that is called arc measure. The measure of arc AB is 100 degrees. But now we're going to shift from angles into length. So if you think about length, how do we usually measure length? Usually it's in like centimeters or inches, feet, yards, miles, right? We want to see if we took a ruler and measured from A to B, how long would it be? That's what arc length is. So if we wanted to measure all the way around a circle, for a lot of shapes, we call that the perimeter. For circles, it has a special name called the circumference. And the formula for circumference is C, which stands for circumference, equals 2 times pi times r. So it's 2 times pi times the radius of our circle. And we'll remember that radiuses go from the center out to a point on the circle. So ZB would be our radius. All right, so I'm going to say that the radius is 5. So if I wanted to solve for the circumference, I would do 2 times pi. Make sure you're using the pi button. If you need help finding that on your calculator on your phone, just shoot me an email and I'll show you how to find that. So 2 times pi times 5. Go ahead and plug that into your calculator. Make sure you're getting about 31.4159. I rounded it, but I wanted you to see to make sure you're getting all these numbers. 2 times pi times 5. So the circumference, the length all the way around this circle, is about 31.5 centimeters. All right, so try this one on your own. Solve for the circumference of this circle. So pause the video, grab your calculator, find out the circumference. All right, so circumference is 2 times pi times r. 2 times pi times 3 is our radius. When you plug that all in, you should have gotten 18.8496, so on, inches. All right, it is a length. So if I went all the way around that circle, if I grabbed my ruler, obviously this is not drawn to scale, but it would be 18.8 inches. All right, but you'll notice here our arc AB is not all the way around a circle. So we don't want to find the circumference of the circle. We want to find just part of it. So we want just 100 degrees worth of the circumference. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking our circumference and multiplying it by the fraction of the circle we want. So we only want 100 degrees out of the whole circle, so out of 360. So what our formula is going to look like is we're going to take our central angle, so in this case it's 100 degrees, we're going to divide it by 360. We're going to divide it by the entire circle. So we want 100 degrees out of 360, and then we're going to multiply it by circumference, so times 2 pi r. So you might want to grab a paper, write down this formula, central angle divided by 360 times 2 times pi times r. So what that's going to look like is you're going to take 100 divided by 360, right, central angle divided by 360, times 2 times pi times 5, because our radius is 5. So grab your calculator, you can plug that all in. 100 divided by 360 times 2 times pi times 5. Make sure you're getting 8.7266. All right. If you're having trouble with your calculator, make sure you contact me. I can help you out. You can use Google Calculator. That works pretty well. All right, so we're going to do some practice problems. So what I want you to do is pause the video, solve for the arc length of arc AB. All right, first step, write down your formula. Central angle divided by 360 times 2 pi r. Our central angle is 35 degrees. 35 divided by 360 times 2 times pi times 4, because 4 is our radius. All right, hopefully you got 2.44. Here's another one. You'll notice now we have a major arc. We've got a big arc, so we're going to be using the big side of the angle, this 225 degrees. Let's pause the video, solve for the arc length of arc ACB. Should have wrote down your formula. Central angle divided by 360 times 2 times pi times r. 225 divided by 360 times 2 times pi times 6 is our radius. Should have gotten 23.56 feet. All right, I think I got one more for you. Now we've got a central angle of 150 degrees, so solve for the arc length of arc AB. All right, central angle divided by 360 times 2 times pi times r. So we got 150 divided by 360 times 2 times pi times 10. You get 26.18, and that's arc length. You need your formula, so make sure you have that written down somewhere so you can use it for your exit ticket. Just as a little refresher, if I wanted the arc measure of arc AB, that would be 150 degrees. So measure is always in degrees. Length is always going to be in length, so inches, feet, yards, centimeters. All right, so how are we feeling? We got our formula, we plug in our central angle, we plug in our radius. Those are the only two things you need to know. Tomorrow it is going to get more difficult. I'm going to make you go backwards and solve for the angle and the radius, but for just today on your exit ticket, you're going to be solving for the arc length. I might throw in a trick question. I might ask you for the arc measure, so be looking out for that. If you have any questions, you can email me, join me for office hours. That's it. So I hope you guys have a really great day.